Okay, so Crane, this will be on YouTube, by the way, if you need to go back and watch it. So let's take a look. Oh, this is a 5v5. Okay, okay. You needed at least one win bad. Well, you got it. You got it, my man. That'll be the only one you get. All right, let's see what are we doing here? Okay. I have a comment already on this here. If you're going to camp here, there is no point in randomly throwing your trap down here. Because one, this is not going to kill anyone. No one has line of sight. No one is saving line of sight to back up this trap. So this trap here is pointless. If you put a mine on it, it would be less pointless. But this here is pointless. What you should be doing, if you're going to camp here, is you place a trap either here or here. Because that way, if anyone catches you off guard and goes through one of these instead of down main, you already have the advantage. Because, you know, they'll either destroy the trap because they see it, and you know that they're there, or they don't see it, they step in it, and then you get a free kill. So just be mindful of that. Kept Doom queuing yesterday and lost everything. In there, man. Yeah, see, there's the thing. Cass got trapped and nothing happened. There's no point to the trap that you put there. Also, be careful because you got off of this chair and you made a footstep. In higher ranks, people will hear that. And they'll... I don't know what your rank is here, but people would normally hear that. So, be careful. Okay. So, I see the play that you were going for. But you just massively failed the execution. So we'll go back here. So you can see Cass is already half health. I messed it up. Yeah, you did. That's okay though. So he strafes a direction you obviously weren't thinking he was gonna go. So you mess it up. But then you immediately, as soon as you mess up that play, you say fuck it and you go for the Mercy. And you mess that up too. So Mercy also probably went a direction you weren't expecting her to as well. So this was just a huge blunder. In my opinion, I would have still gone for the Cass because you have two mines. But I imagine you seeing Mercy thinking that that's more important than the Cass, which in 5v5 definitely is. I mean, it really depends, but we're gonna chalk that down to unlucky. I saw the play you were going for. You kind of abandoned your first strat.
I still think we can win.
But we'll say unlucky. I've had plays like that too. Good trap placement. I'd throw it a bit sooner. I would throw my trap at that doorway a little bit sooner than you did, but you know, it's just a little nitpick. Nothing major. Okay, let's see. Little advice here. So you know the cast is coming. You can hear him, and then you see him, right? Um, but what I would do in this scenario is you throw a concussion mine. You got your trap there, but in this spot you need to be throwing your concussion mine because here's what you do. You throw your concussion mine in, detonate it, you get cast down to nearly half health. He gets booped over here, right? Gets booped over here. Then you throw your trap here, right here where this explosion mark is. Throw your trap here. And then you do a mix of firing grenades through this doorway to bounce on that wall, bounce over there, and then you fire grenades on this corner to bounce the nades in here. And then, depending on how the footsteps play out, you either push the left doorway or you push the right doorway. You probably end up pushing left because you don't know if he's going to get help from over here on this doorway. So to play it safe so you don't die, you push the left. Meanwhile, Cass might hear it, might not, but panics, wants to get back to his team. He then steps in the trap that you put here, and then you get a free kill in the Cass. So you started out this play wrong. And I also notice you're playing very aggressive, but your Rhine is here. However, I would still be playing a bit further back. But if you're gonna make these aggressive plays, you have to do them right. What is this? Scoreboard. Interesting. So you messed up here again. You should have tossed your concussion mine in to boop the cast further that way rather than your trap. I don't know if you panicked and just kind of hit buttons, because you should not be throwing your trap here first. Yeah, like you have 2 concussion mines available, and you're waiting to use them. You're waiting too long to use those concussion mines. And because you were playing really aggressive. Look, your Rhine fell back. No one else on your team was with you except for Mercy. Reinhardt fell back. So that allowed them to push up and kill you. So when you make aggressive plays like that, you have to make sure your team is going to be able to back you up. So if you have to retreat, you can. Crane, what competitive rank are you? Just out of curiosity. Wait, didn't you say you were Diamond? Diamond 2? Okay. So, and this, this isn't an insult or anything. I can already tell that you lack awareness. Going up here is fine. I go on this bridge too. Echo, quiet character, very surprising. It happens. But the cast behind you, I heard that man ages ago. So, you walked out. Let's see. Let's go back. You can hear Cass shooting. You can hear the footsteps behind you. This is where you immediately turn around and start shooting behind you because Cass is there. Let's take a look at his perspective real quick. Yeah. So, he was ready for the follow-up. Really, so I will say, I think one thing from Overwatch 1 to Overwatch 2, I think they fucked up footsteps really hard. It is kind of difficult to tell where they're coming from, but you can still hear them. So I think maybe you were a bit too focused on like flanking there and trying to get, some damage in from behind. But I heard that cast and I would have turned around to see where he was coming from. That's what you needed to do there. I don't know if you heard the cast. I don't know if you chose to ignore him. Um, but it just looked like you didn't know he was there and got caught off guard because of where you were going to go.
I'm ready.
Nice. Good. Okay, so that was a good play you had right there. Especially jumping over to the doorway and putting a trap down. Perfect. Ooh, almost. I missed those too. I've been better at hitting them lately though. You do want to be careful though because here in higher ranks, this cast double headshots you and kills you before you can even get a grenade off. So be careful about pushing a mercy pocketed cast, especially at this range. You only miss those nades by inches. Putting a trap down here is good. I probably would have tried to put that trap more near a doorway. You put the trap in between two doorways. I would have lined it up more with the actual doorway. Yo, what up, Ralph? Nothing major, just nitpick. You can hear. Are you on console? No? Okay. The aiming is very smooth. So you're so tired, who knew going to bed at 2 a.m. and getting up at 5 wasn't a good idea? I asked, it was this moment right here. It was this here when you got attacked by the Echo. It looked like you were kind of scrambling. But okay, so so this here isn't a bad play, but you're 17 HP and like the moment you turned to this doorway, I knew what you were gonna do. You have 17 HP. You're scrambling to get out this doorway to avoid the Junkrat so you don't die, to deploy your tire so you can move in and kill them. It looks like this Junkrat did the same thing. Let me watch it from his perspective real quick. Yeah, okay. So that's exactly, so on that freeze frame, it looked like he was trying to run away, but this is exactly what I was going to comment on because you have 17 HP You scrambled out here to deploy Tyre real quickly. Their Echo did exactly what I thought was going to happen, which was he fired on this doorway to bounce the grenade into exactly where you're sitting. Now, had he been a bit more precise, he would have either killed you or killed your Tyre. In a higher rank, you die here or your Tyre dies. I see the play you were trying to make, but it's not what you don't want to go for these scramble rip Tyre moments unless you absolutely have to. You didn't have to do it here. What you should have done was while he's trapped here and you're trying to exit, you continue to fire back in. Hopefully, like, you know, kill him out of his duplication. And then you either go into this back corner where the grenades aren't going to hit if you want to deploy Tyre. Climb your Tyre up this wall here. Go back in on this side. Kill him that way. Or you jump down here into this corner and deploy your Tyre there. This was a very rushed play and it could have ended poorly. But it wasn't terrible. I mean, I get the idea. I see what you're going for. Like the idea is there, but it's the execution that needs work. It's the execution that's a little shaky. You got expected first win, now you got reversal. You had 5 other DPS mains on your team. Oof, that's a rough, dude. Okay, so here, I very rarely spam from this spot. What you should do is go back up here, where your Cass is. Hold this high ground. Place a trap on this doorway or place a trap out here in the middle here. And fire from up here. Because then you don't have to hide. You can see where to aim your nades. And if someone gets trapped, you can follow that up. Up here is just better to begin with. Plus, there's a Cass flanking down here. You're more vulnerable to someone flanking this stairwell, especially if they crouch walk. So you're kind of leaving yourself a little open here. Nice. Big. Yo, actual huge play. Also, I will say, holding here, like I said, I've held here before. Now this led you to get 2 really good kills. When you're in the game, you can, so like, when you're outside of a game and you're thinking about how to play a certain character or thinking about how to play a certain area of the map, you know, you have these ideas. But then when you're actually in the game, those ideas can be slightly altered depending on how the enemy is playing and depending on what you think they're going to do. That can alter how you typically hold angles and, you know, things like that. It's a domino effect, kind of like you essentially know what you can get away with, and you're kind of being conditioned to play according to what the other team is doing. So it's possible in a game like this, I might have felt that playing here would be good as well. But as I said before, playing here, you're still very vulnerable. So just be careful with that. It worked out, which was good, but just keep that in mind. Now Cass got you, but you got 3. Oh, you're getting rest. Okay, I don't know why. Their Cass could have held Deadeye and killed you. Nice. Wrong play. Okay, you heard your Rhine shatter. You heard Cass get knocked down. She was one, doesn't matter. You're not Soldier, you're Junkrat. Your grenades do the same damage. Mercy being one and Mercy being half health is the same for you. Doesn't matter. Unless you're going to throw a concussion mine. You have one available, but you didn't throw it. You used it to jump. Yeah. So this is where yeah, wrong play. You heard Cass get shattered, so you need to look down and you need to kill this Cass. You need to you can do two things. You can drop a trap on him and finish him up that way, or you can shoot him with two nades. But you made the wrong play here. This Mercy is not worth it because trying to hit a Mercy like this out of the air is hard and not worth the investment when someone on the ground is a free kill. And so now look what happens. You died because you made yourself vulnerable to chase a kill that wasn't worth. And Cass went on to kill your Mercy, and now your team's getting rolled. Now imagine you kill Cass, right? Cass is dead, now you're back here. Now you're helping your Rhine fight the Brig and the Ram. Yeah, Mercy's still up there. Yeah, she's 1 health. At this point, it doesn't matter. When she gets low enough to reliably toss a concussion mine at her, then you can try and finish her off. But what you need to worry about right now is killing this Cass and then backing up your Rhine on the cart, stopping it here. Because the moment you start shooting at Brig, she's going to back up and shield. Ram's going to take point. He's going to try to fight your Reinhardt. Then you bully the Ram. And let's say this Mercy tries to come down and res Cass. If you're still standing here, Mercy becomes a free kill. If you're standing here, Echo probably jumps in and tries to kill you. But that would have been this would have been a better play. Because let's say the Echo doesn't try to contest you. Maybe she does. But you kill this Cass. Mercy's afraid to come in and res because she's 1 HP. So she's probably going to retreat to the Echo. Reinhardt's going to be still fighting here. And with your help, he's not going to get demolished by Brig Ram. So you end up stalling the fight at the cart here, buying more time for your team.
Buckle my shoe. There's mayhem to do. Now we're cooking with gas. It's tickling.
Adaptive circuits engaged. Junker Queen.
Okay. You took way too long to try to get that Mercy.
Now we're cooking with gas.
You see the Mercy is there. You have 2 concussion mines available. You need to go now. And you know there's a Cass on their team. So you also know that you can't afford to expose your butt cheeks in the air for a long period of time, or Cass is going to shoot you out of the air. You were thinking if it was worth to go for her. If she's right here, yes. If she's right here standing on this platform, yes. If she's over here in the middle of the air, no. She's right here, easy to get. So here's what you do. You use a concussion mine to jump over to the Mercy. While you're in the air, you toss a trap out over to the cart. You 1-2 the Mercy, she's dead. You turn your attention to the cart, you jump off the high ground, back down here so you're not as big of a target to cast. Hopefully someone steps in your trap that you threw out there while jumping to the Mercy, and then you're back here from the safety of this rock formation, shooting at whoever got stuck in the trap. And if no one did get stuck in the trap, well, so what? You killed Mercy and you're alive and you're shooting the payload now.
This tickle their
Also, you didn't throw your trap in the right spot. It needs to be out here. From what I've seen, you kind of just chuck your traps.
Junker Queen. The payload has reached the checkpoint.
Hey, Your Honor, his name is Lucario. Believe me, dog, I've been there. Here's what you want to do, though. You have tire. You need to jump to this high ground, break the railing, and get ready to deploy it. Deploying your tire down here on the ground is almost always a bad idea. Because people are going to expect that. They're not going to be expecting it to come from up here. If you deploy your tire up here, you have the advantage because what you can do is you destroy this railing, deploy your tire, you jump it, as soon as you round the corner, you punch Nitro Boost. And then you drill it right into the Mercy. Cancels their push. Over. Done. But you stayed on low ground here. Also, another mistake is not stalling your tire. You don't need to stall your tire for as long as I do sometimes. But typically when you deploy Rip Tire, there is an immediate spam of damage around the corner that you take your tire around. So if you wait even 1 or 2 seconds, you wait out that spam. But you didn't wait. You instantly took your tire around the corner, so you got met with all the spam they had. Also, another benefit to waiting. This ram gets slept, but he also gets woken up. Which, you know, obviously you don't want to wake up targets like that.
fire in the hole!
But here's the thing.
Helden sterben nicht.
Let's say you're stalling your tire, right? You're stalling your tire on this wall right here. You see Ram get slept. Oh shit! Free tire kill, full 600 damage. Your target now changes. Instead of going for anyone back here, you go for the Ram. Ram's asleep, not blocking. Drive it straight into him. Ram has 642 health. So you don't kill the Ram, but you get him down to 1 HP. The rest of your team is shooting at the Ram. Ram dies. Push cancelled.
This'll tickle their feet.
You guys actually got kind of lucky there because Ram had his ult in a higher rank. As soon as Ram wakes up, he deploys his ultimate and Brig uses rally, and they use that to push through you guys.
Nanoboost administered.
So you keep trying to go for Mercy, and it keeps failing. Got her once.
Helping you out. أنا ما حدش يقدر عليا. And that's how you bring fire to the mortals.
Can't wait.
Okay. Tip here, it applies more at higher ranks. But it's useful information anyway. When a team is going against a Junkrat that is constantly spamming them, the moment that spam disappears, they notice. And they think, where's the Junkrat? And then they go, oh, he's probably behind getting ready to use tire. Now, you just used your tire, so you don't have it. But they're thinking he's probably behind. So they already know now to watch out for their flanks.
This'll tickle their feet.
I don't think they're doing that in Diamond, but you never know with some players. But if you're going to commit to this flank, playing this room is smart after the flank on the Mercy didn't work. I would say maybe don't grab the health pack yet. You're at 180. They're not actively pushing you just yet. Maybe don't get it because you can still survive another headshot from Cass and not die. But you know they're gonna sandwich you. So Echo just destroyed your trap at this doorway. So what you can do, you have two choices here. You can either reposition your trap at this doorway and try to take the Echo by surprise, or you place your trap at this doorway and take the Cass by surprise. I know it can be kind of like, it can kind of set you in a panic when you're being pushed from two angles. You don't know which one to do. But that's the difference between a low rank player and a higher rank player. You have to be able to make those decisions on a moment's notice. So you put your trap on either doorway and get ready to spam the other. Because if you put a trap on the right doorway, Cass comes in and steps on it, you can then immediately whip around and fire on the Cass, more than likely killing him. And on top of that, because let's say, like I suggested earlier, you don't take this Mega because you don't need it yet. Cass comes in, he gets trapped, maybe hits you once or twice. You're not dead yet, though, because he just body shots you, right? So while the Echo's there, you whip around, shoot the Cass, kill him, take the health pack, and then Echo tries to come in, gets aggressive in this doorway, and then you kill the Echo. And then Mercy is forced to retreat. Or if you trap this doorway again, Cass comes in, you use your concussion mine to either boop him further in, or you boop him further out. If you boop Cass further in, you then start walking this length, because their Cass is he's going to be in this corner, he's going to try to get out as fast as possible, because he's going to be like, oh shit, I just got bumped in. So he's going to try to exit immediately. So you walk closer to him to then get a bigger advantage on hitting him with grenades and kill him that way. And then, by doing that, Echo comes in this doorway. You're over here. You're safe from the Echo coming in that doorway. Then you slowly back out while spamming that doorway, and then jump back towards your team. You just couldn't tell when the Echo was coming in. You thought he was going in first. Yeah, so that's why when you're in this corner, you got to make that decision. You're gonna trap one doorway, and then you're gonna guard the other doorway with a nade mine. You don't know who's gonna come in first, but you know you're gonna get pushed from two angles. Bro is doing the most in-depth VOD review. These are typically how all my VOD reviews go. You make me feel like such a noob. Lol. Do I play 5v5 or 6v6? Exclusively 6v6 since it came out.
Helping you out. أنا ما حدش يقدر عليا. And that's how you bring fire to the mortals.
Let's give it a fair shake, mate.
They brought one back.
Oh, did you take frag cannon? You did. Nice. Okay. So, let me go back here a little bit. Okay.
They brought one back.
So, I typically would not take frag cannon for Eichenwald third, because as we've discussed at length here before, frag cannon will change the trajectory that the junk nades fly at, which means you can't spam the same angles from the same spots. So you're at a disadvantage there, and you lose a grenade. So you lose a chunk of your DPS. And in an enclosed area that's close quarters, you want as much DPS as you can get. And you don't need the range here. Maybe if they had like an Ashe that always stood like for example, because they're running Cass Echo and they're kind of in your face all the time. If they were running an Ashe that was back here, then that would be a good reason to take frag cannon, because then you can contest her a lot easier from, say, like over here or something. They have Echo, so you thought it would help. I get that, but this Echo is in close quarters a lot, and she's not keeping her distance, and you're an Eichenwald third. But I will say, despite what I have to say, if you feel like you need frag cannon, take it. I'm just giving you my 2 cents. Same bro, 6v6 only. Gotta get these 5v5 noobs to transfer to 6v6 until they close that mode. True. Also, I think you went too aggressive here. I know you may not know that Echo has her ult, but in this scenario, you're the first one out, your team's respawning. Like your queen is is not even alive yet. You're the only one that's going to be able to conceivably touch the cart. So you can't afford to make an aggressive play like this, because even if you kill Echo, even if this was Mercy and you kill her, you're dead. No one touches for cart. Mercy's not going to make it out of spawn. So you can't, in this scenario here, you can't afford to make an aggressive play like this, because the cart's going to get capped anyway. Now, if your Junker Queen was like here and could touch, then this play might be worth it. But not when you're the only one. Because this is where you're going to have to hide and live and touch the cart at the last second. And by the way, when you do touch the cart at the last second, throw a trap on it.
Adaptive circuits engaged. Junkrat.
Yeah, and they just capped. So that was also not the right play there.
Switching sides.
I get the idea. I understand what you're going for. But you need to know your priorities
5,
in the situation that the game is in.
2, 1. Attackers incoming. Defend objective A.
Okay. Okay, so it looked like right there you were actually like you were aiming way behind where you needed to. Those shots would have hit if you had frag cannon. Also, you double mined her. You need to follow this shot up with a nade. Because if you mine her and she goes up here, it's the world's easiest look up and shoot. Like, and then you finish her off with a mine. Also, let's go back a bit as well. You need to be careful with this flank because listen. Thump. They heard that. In a higher rank, they now know you're back here. Also here. So, I know you're going for the flank. But while you're standing here waiting for your third mine, at least try and fire onto the Sojourn. She doesn't know you're going to flank. Fire a few grenades at her. She's going to turn and look at you. She's maybe going to shoot back. Maybe you get lucky, maybe you hit her. If you hit Sojourn, she's going to be like, oh shit, I got hit. She's going to fall back to either in here, or she's going to drop off the bridge. If you don't hit Sojourn, she's probably going to still hold this angle, shoot at you some. And then there's two things that she can do. Maybe because she knows you're here, she now feels like maybe she's vulnerable on this bridge. So maybe even if you don't hit her, maybe she drops down anyway. She's going to notice you flying. I'm getting to that. So now that she knows you're here because you shot at her, maybe she's afraid, so maybe she drops back. If she doesn't, she stays on the bridge. But here's what you do. You hide. You continue firing on this angle. You hide. You don't show her. But then you stop for a second. You wait. Sojourn then completely forgets that you're there, isn't looking, fires on Sigma, And that's when you jump and flank. That's literally what happens. People will turn away from that angle. They'll be like, oh shit, there's a junk over there. Oh, he's not showing anymore? Okay, he's gone. It's exactly what they do. So take advantage of that.
Target immobilized.
But like
Try until I run
like the
out
other
of
flanks
limbs.
you've been doing in this game, you need to be able to pull it off. You've continuously flanked this entire game, and it really hasn't worked out at all. You did get some good kills here and there. But the main substance of your gameplay right now is not working. And you keep going you keep going for this mercy a lot. Nice. Nice.
Trap exclusive property. Box.
So throughout this match, I've noticed there is a lot of downtime on your primary gun. Like, you're not shooting.
The pleasure is mine.
Okay. This is a great example. You see Echo in here, right? And guess what you do? You fire one bullet, and you continue walking forward. What if the Echo decided to play aggressive and push this room again? Now you're taken by surprise. Echo explodes her jizz bombs all over your face, and she kills you. That's a scenario that could happen, right? Now let's say instead of firing one bullet and walking up in here, you continuously fire your entire clip onto this doorway. So it does two things. If Echo decides that she wants to play aggressive and push this doorway, she then runs into your grenades. Either hits 2 grenades and dies, or hits 1 grenade, makes it into the room, and then you adjust your targeting and kill her with a concussion mine or another nade. So scenario 1, she dies. Scenario 2, she thinks about pushing this room, but sees that you're spamming it and goes, ah, fuck, no, I don't want to move into junk spam. Fuck it. I'm not flanking. You've now just prevented a flank and saved a teammate or yourself. So, putting a trap here is good, but it's a little late. And what I mean by that is, look where the fight is taking place. It's like right here. Your trap here, like this ram is very unlikely to push you here. Now, maybe if your team hadn't pushed through the bridge yet and they were still holding here, ram might have pushed you and got stuck in your trap. But your trap right here is outdated. You need to chuck it in there, in here, because this is where the fight is taking place now. Put it on the ground here. Ram's already half health. He decides to fall back. Maybe gets stuck in the trap. Easy kill. Maybe he doesn't. So what? Your trap was there to catch him just in case. This trap is outdated. It's a good idea, but it's too late.
Adaptive circuits engaged with signal.
We are outnumbered. Take heed.
You need to be careful on this weird geometry stuff. You hear that? Thump. That Ana just heard you. I think you were aiming a tiny bit low there as well. But you messed up back here. I've done this before. It's never good.
Adaptive circuits engaged.
Okay. So it's decision time here. If you're ever right here, and you've got this angle, and you can't see your teammate here, you need to get the hell out. Because this Echo duplicating Sigma, now they're gonna push. And with the, I believe they nanoed, right? That's what this here means. Your team is gonna back way the fuck up. When you take an off angle like this, you're already splitting yourself. You're already splitting yourself off from your team. Because your team is gonna push, like they're gonna push this here, right? So if this push for whatever reason gets canceled, you're now vulnerable because you're not with your team. You're way over here. And that's what happened. Their team identified that while slowly, they still made it happen. Especially right here. You can see how far away your team is. If I'm in this position, I'm thinking, oh shit, I'm out of position. I need to get back to my team. So your concussion mine is almost back. Put that on this wall, jump back to your team. Because if you're back there, now you can help beat up the Ram. Ram's already at half health. If you're shooting at Ram, he's taking more damage. He's going to start to block, and then he's going to back up. He's going to cancel his aggressive push. But now you're back here. You were going to go for the Ana in the back, but saw the kill feed. What you don't want to do though is because like you flanked, but in full view of their team. They know you're here. So if you're going to flank for the Ana, you got to do it on the left side, or you got to go around the outside of the map and do that jump again. Plus, you're walking back here. You're not crouch walking, you're straight up walking. So they hear your footsteps. And you jumped there too, so they heard that. And then the geometry here is funky, and you weren't careful for that, so Ana heard you splash down as well. Again, so now they know your position more accurately. Ana calls it out and gets your team to come help. And now suddenly you're fucked. What you do, here's what you should have done in this situation, okay? Let's say you want to go for the flank. Let's say you don't jump back to your team, okay? Going for the flank now, right? This is what you do. You have 95% on your rip tire. You drop down aggressively, right? Because their Ram just ulted and pushed into your team. So you know they're going to be pushed up. So you drop down aggressively. You start to shoot at this Ana. You throw a concussion mine at her. You do some damage. You get your rip tire, right? You're dropped down. You're here. You shoot at Ana. Maybe you get lucky. Maybe you kill Ana. but you hit Ana, you damage her. You go into this room, take the mini, use your tire, come to this corner, nitro boost it here, nitro boost it straight into their team. Kill the Pharah, kill the Ana if you didn't kill her before and just damaged her. Nitro boost it. And like you kill either the Pharah or the Ana, and you're still alive back here on this mini. Once you do that, you then get on point. You start capping some. Force their team to come back to the objective.
We are outnumbered. Take heed.
Hey, it's Nico.
I'm really feeling the heat.
Carabalgo. Fire in the hole!
Just like I said earlier, your traps, you're throwing your traps out too late. You need to be throwing your trap now.
Fire in the hole!
I see what you're going for. I've done it too. But here's what you should have done. Climb it over to this wall, stall it on this wall, look down, get a better view for the battlefield. Jump it, maybe stall it on this wall. Pharah's there, so maybe not. Jump it, stall it on this wall. Watch for where they're going. Don't use Nitro Boost yet.
Escort the payload.
Hold this a minute.
Good recovery. Nice. That was pretty good what you did here. One minor one minor tip.
We have liftoff!
You really need to be able to hit those shots where you boop a character straight up in front of you in the air. You need to be able to like react with like moving your mouse straight up and hitting those shots. But this was good play. It's not what I would have done, but you don't need to do what I do. But this was good.
Nobody left, huh?
I'll make sure that doesn't stop.
Don't tell anyone!
What would I have done?
Hold this a minute.
I typically never push bottom right here. And the reason is because, especially if they have an echo, but normally Hit scan. Oh, they did swap off cast. Okay. Maybe I would have played it a bit differently then because they don't have cast. But whenever they have hit scan, they will typically stand here or they will stand up here. And if I'm playing either of these two doorways, I'm very vulnerable to just getting zero progress with a hit scan guarding here. So I will typically push this doorway. I will go in here. Then I will check to see if anyone is up here, this middle section. Fire on it, and then shoot at the mercy sum. If anyone's in here, you shoot that. But if you're in here, you can play a little bit aggressive to pressure this ram out. And then you have a retreat back up here. And then once the payload moves a bit further out to like here, you can then jump into the middle of this castle, see if anyone's currently here, go up that way, or you can do the long route and go this way. But especially if this door is not open, I never push the right side of this castle because oftentimes it's just too Junk's just too vulnerable doing that. Okay. So I see the idea. You failed in the execution. And here's what you did wrong. Do not go any closer than this. You got way too close. Look at where the rest of your team is. And now look at you. Why are you here? You thought of going to spawn camp the Sojourn? Yeah, I saw it. Not a good idea either. Here's what you should have done. If you're going to hold this angle, you play here. And here's why. Because this Ana forced to heal Ram. You have Juno, who was really low up in the air for some reason. But guess what? Ram's here on cart, right? Now let's say you're shooting at him from way over here, okay? Ram's here, he's getting shot by you from the left, and he turns and looks, and he goes, shit, man. There's a Junkrat way over there. I can't do anything about that. So he's forced to ignore you, or attempt to damage you, while you get his HP low, and your team continues to put pressure on him from the front. But now, let's take where you currently are. Your presence is known, you're shooting at him, Ram turns. Oh shit, there's a Junkrat in my face. Hold on, let me deal with this real quick. And then you die. You got way too close. The only way you get this close is if your team is on the payload. And even then, you might not even want to get that close. Because I would still be playing back here. Because if that Ram wanted to, any moment he could turn to me and wipe me out in 2 hits. Or 3. Whatever, however much damage his punch does. So further follow-up on the Sojourn. Sojourn's 250. You're not gonna nade mine the Sojourn. She's gonna live. So if you attempt to spawn kill her, it's just gonna backfire.
Let the Kitsune guide you.
Yeah, your team dies here. Okay, so now imagine you were still over here with the safety of this corner shooting at the ram. And you know what else you do? While you're here shooting this corner, you put a trap here in front of this doorway. So when the Sojourn comes back from spawn, she either sees it and destroys it so you know she's there and then you can fall back even further, or she steps in it and you get a free kill. But now because you died, because you played way too aggressive, the rest of your team is falling. And that sim that's on the bridge up here, if you're over here still shooting and damaging the ram, because that ram had pretty low health before. If you're shooting the ram, booping him up into the air, he's taking damage from your Sig, and what is this? It's Curie. That freeze frame. So and your Cass is dead too. Oh, he died to the Sojourn. Okay, yeah. So Cass, because Sojourn's not even here in the moment I'm talking about. Let's scroll back a bit. Yeah, okay. So let's forward a bit more. Yeah. So Ram's low. You're still over there spamming. Cass is here. Sig's here, putting pressure. Sojourn's not back in the fight yet. It's possible you kill Ram before Sojourn even gets back. And if you kill Ram, then their team's like, alright, fight's done. Like, we lost the point. Wouldn't my play work if your team got closer? Yeah, I commented on that. I said the only way you play here is if your team is on the payload. But I also said that you may not even want to play here to begin with, because you're still too close to the ram, and if he turns for even a second, you're dead to his form.
Let the Kitsune guide you.
Your play,
I still think we can win.
even if your team was closer, your play is still risky, because if you die, that's one less player on your team to help with the fight.
My ultimate is charging.
We don't have all day.
My playstyle is always, I always prioritize living. I position myself and play to live. Okay, bit of a blunder there, and it looked like you got lost on the stairs when trying to go to the Mega. It looks like you panic in some of these scenarios because you take a little bit too long to make a decision onto like where to throw the mine and when to throw it, and then you threw a mine at nothing and detonated it. So I don't know if you like fat fingered the key again, or if you didn't know the Sojourn was dead, or just panicked. But you end up living here, which is good, but you could have got both of those. Okay. Okay. Okay, not bad. Little stumbly, but we got it. Nice. That was a good trap. Good trap again. You have a concussion mine, boop that ram out from behind a shield. I don't know where that mine was going. See right there, that like previous 3-5 seconds, it looks like you're kind of just hitting buttons. The trap looks like it was very panicked because it hit the wall. The concussion mine, I mean I assume you meant to throw it at the ram, but he wasn't going that direction. Also, to take a look at where these guys are at. What are they standing on? What's the #1 spot for Junkrat's trap? On the payload. When you threw your trap here in the corner and killed the sim, the next trap needs to go on the payload. Because guess what? One of these guys steps in the trap, they die, gives your team more pushing power now. What up, Humphrey? That was a good juggle on the ram. You missed the follow-up shots, and then you placed another panic trap setting the Ana free. Oh wait, the trap got destroyed.
What?
Wait, did I... Hold on.
Battle ignites me.
I accept almighty currency.
Ana's in the trap now. This is where you forget about the ram, turn your attention to the Ana in the trap. Okay, okay. I was not clear on what happened the first time watching that. The trap throw here is fine, but you need to forget about the ram in the air and focus on the Ana in the trap now. Looking a little lost there. That Ana's looking a little lost. Your trap placement needs work. Same problem as earlier. You're too close. You are too close to the fight. You are in front of your SIG a lot, and there's really no good reason for it. You need to be bullying their ram. Junkrat bullies Ramattra so easily, and you need to be taking advantage of that.
60 seconds remaining.
I'm going back in.
You need to be aiming higher. Oh wait, you have frag cannon. Never mind. Again, with the frag cannon comment, your third point Eichenwald, I don't think you need it, even though they're having Sojourn. God, this is gonna take me forever. If Sojourn decides to stand back here, or Ashe, or some other sort of range character, then I would take it. But right now, I don't think you need it. However, like I said earlier, if you feel like you need it, take it. Nice. Okay, I was about to say yeet your trap in there. I think you could have thrown it a tiny bit further.
This ends now.
Okay. Um. So there's not really much else to say about the ending part of this game, other than I'm not sure why your tank went Winston. I don't think that was the play at all. Um, I think Sig was okay. Eichenwald third probably should have gone Zarya unless it was banned. Against Ram, you could do Ram as well yourself. You could do a Risa. I don't think Winston was the pick. But that's beside the point. To conclude this review, I would say you did decent this game, but you definitely made a lot of mistakes. Um, Zarya and Diva were banned. Okay, Winston is always the pick. Um, so your biggest problems are you play too aggressive, um, and you fail the execution of your flanks. Um, and you go after Mercy too much. Mercy's flying in the air. She's all over the place. Stop it. You're focusing too much on the Mercy. Um, your trap placement needs a little bit of work. But the everything else was fine. You just need to tone back the aggression. And if you're gonna flank, you gotta make sure that you can pull it off. If you can't hit those shots, stop flanking. You need to be able to. Halfway through this game, you probably should have changed up what you were doing, because at some point you should realize, hey, these flanks I'm doing aren't working. I'm getting back there, but I'm not killing anyone, and I'm dying, and my team is losing. So, maybe flank a little bit less, or make sure you can hit those shots. But overall, not bad. You just gotta work on those few things.